Hello, everyone. It is Enlightenment Day, and I'm going to now be testing how enlightened Claudia and Jay-Z are because I'm about to have an episode. So I'm wearing my Die Robot shirt, as you can see, and I'm on camera like 40 hours a week, and I'm like, anything that makes me act like a robot is a Die Robot moment. Like I can't be a robot. I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do on camera. Watch this.
Oh, right. Well, also, Andy, I noticed that you're not wearing your Buddha earrings, so maybe
Uh,
you're not acting enlightened
yeah,
because you
I'm
don't
eating
have.
sunflower seeds on camera right now. I just feel like it. I'm not a robot. I need to eat a sunflower seed.
Yeah. Yeah, you be you right here with us right now. I mean, also, you can't help but be you anyway, so
So I thought it was like if I'm fated to have an episode on the episode, then I'm just gonna do it.
yeah,
And
awesome.
you'll find this interesting, Jay-Z, that Mars is squaring my Uranus right now. So it's time for me to burst out with unexpected surprises.
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's
just I just want to see. I thought about showing up 1 minute late and also not having my notes ready to see if you guys could handle that.
awesome.
What do you think of that? How enlightened are you?
Well, this is a good movie.
I just start messing with you guys and see how zen you can stay.
But what if she wore her other earrings instead? And why is she wearing black lipstick? And why does she have her robot shirt on?
Dude, what if I just put dye in the screen during the whole enlightenment episode?
Good.
Oh my God. That's a fun game. Is to, like people who say they're enlightened is just push their buttons until they freak out.
Oh, good. Trolling enlightenment. Good. That's good.
Oh my God. This episode, this is a comedy. This is a comedy.
Yeah.
I see, I see. Mm.
All right. Well, since we have all proven that we can remain zen even amongst chaos, I will just keep doing whatever I want all episode.
Excellent.
All right. What I want to do now is adhere the notes that we've prepared. Okay.
Mm.
So we are on the episode of there are two sides of the coin. Obviously there are actually three sides of a coin, but whatever. Who's counting? There. I'm just kidding. Okay. Okay. So there's pain and pleasure, health and illness, good and pain, love and hate. These are all dualities, which could we call them binaries? I mean, is pain pleasure a binary?
Oh, the hermeticists, is that what you call people who are into hermeticism?
Yeah, if you're fated to.
Yeah. Yeah, they say that those things are actually just different sides of one same spectrum. Which is why when, somebody that you have an intensely loving relationship with can turn to an intensely hating relationship with because but like someone who you're like meh about, then you never really get that,
Intensity. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and so it is the whole every action has a equal and opposite reaction kind of thing about the two. So Hermeticism says that the two are the same.
Hmm. Yeah, my mom used to say the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's the three-sided coin right there.
definitely. Then you are not on the same spectrum. It's a complete other story. Mhm.
Yeah, well, his point is that no one has ever experienced only one of these things. Like, even if you look into childbirth, like while you're being born, I think it's painful. I mean, no one ever talks about how painful it is for the baby, but I do think it is painful to have your head scratched in such a way, you know? And I just think that even getting into this world, there's pain, but like people are always chasing pleasure. And what he's saying is we shouldn't only chase pleasure when like they both exist kind of no one has ever not experienced displeasure ever.
Yeah, but I can imagine that you don't want to sit in your displeasure for the rest of your life. So, yeah, of course you look for pleasure.
He says it's pointless to avoid non-duality or like to avoid illness, because like or avoid hate because like eventually we're gonna get ill and die, for example. So but I mean, I'm with Claudia. It's like I would avoid displeasure personally. Like I think I would eke out the moment of free will I might have had once before I studied Enlightenment and just take myself towards the pleasure side of the coin.
Yes.
So, but do you guys get the point here though? Is like people who only look for the good, like they only are happy when everything's good. That's actually a different kind of happiness than if you're enlightened, which is you're happy even during displeasing moments because you're,
Mm.
or not happy, but Zen. I don't know what you,
Yeah, I understand. But maybe when you are enlightened, then you are not doing the full roller coaster of emotions, but you stay a little bit more in the middle because you know you are more detached and you know these two will pass and it's just a movie, and so you don't completely go with and get out of balance because something very bad happened. You know, yeah, it was meant to be, or it's a good lesson, or there is something good in this, or whatever. Yeah. But when you are not, and you completely fall into the drama and you go explosive in one way or the other. Yeah.
I mean, if enlightenment is the state of having light inside, I mean, I like that, where it's like you can have light inside even during a hard moment.
Yeah, and you still have emotions, but you attach less to them. So you don't clinch, you can still feel, but it passes. Yes.
Yeah, you can be small and light and still ride the roller coaster.
For just a minute, then, not too long.
Just wear your safety
Enjoy
belt.
the roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
'Cause it's fun and you're unburdened and you're like, wee.
That's a good idea. Put your hands in the air and scream, like just like yeah, whoa, instead of being yeah. Um, that's actually a cool view of enlightenment because I think there's this like idea that you just have to be Zen and almost non to be enlightened, but you could just be like wildly like entertained.
Yeah, having fun on the roller coaster. And even though it's through some bad times and some good times.
So what do you guys think about yin and yang? What's he says versus some reason. What is yin and yang? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, all the opposites you can find, like night and day, and female and male, and pain and pleasure, and I don't know. I don't know. That's what I thought was yin and yang.
I actually don't know. I just see it as a tattoo a little bit.
Oh, you mean the symbol
Yeah.
itself? Like
Like what does it stand for? I'm gonna look it up.
it
There's
stands for that there's yeah, it's like a visual representation of the opposites and the dance between them. And then even that like the white side has a little dot of black inside it and the black side has a little dot of white inside it.
So
It's
it's not completely black or not completely white. Mm.
So it says yin and yang are fundamental concepts in Chinese philosophy, particularly in Taoism, representing a duality of opposing but complementary forces in the universe. Yin is often associated with darkness, femininity, passivity, and cold, while yang represents light, masculinity, activity, and warmth. These forces are not in conflict, but rather interdependent, with each influencing and complementing the other.
that's a good one. Complementary opposites.
So we could say like pain contributes to pleasure because it when we're not in pain, it like makes even more play. It's like the two are a pair kind of.
Hmm.
And if you never experience pain, you are not really fully appreciative of pleasure, maybe.
Hmm. Okay, well, I feel like what he's saying is that part of enlightenment is understanding this concept that there is duality in life there, and we shouldn't be trying to avoid one. It's like we shouldn't say like I hate the night, I only like the day. We should be like I equally appreciate all of these opposites or something. Okay.
Maybe you don't have to equally appreciate each of the opposites, but you have to appreciate that they both exist.
and and also the not clinching, because pain will go and pleasure will go, and everything is just for a moment, and it's so with it. I see here without resistance, without frustration, and without dependence, and without irrational fears. So yeah, just watching the movie and enjoying the ride.
So like, you know, when you're on a roller coaster and you're about to go down the big drop, I feel like this is like if you're enlightened, you're just like, oh, big drop coming up. Like, but if you're not enlightened, you're just like, oh, you're clenching, like Claudia's saying, you're like totally clenching.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, the big drop. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, okay, now we're moving on to zoomed in lives. People take things too seriously when they're zoomed in, he says. So let's talk about that. What does that mean? There's a
Yeah.
list on page 35, so we can.
Yeah,
Does anyone have that list?
yeah, I
Yeah.
am.
So the zoomed in is when you're caught up in the details of the plot of the movie. And when you're zoomed out, you are enjoying and watching the movie with all its twists and turns.
Yeah, like people who are zoomed in, it's like they get a bill in the mail and it like they call customer service and it doesn't go well and they're just like ruins their whole day. They're like zoomed into the call and they're like, how'd it go? But if you're zoomed out, you're like, oh, and then today I had like yesterday I went to get a passport and I ended up getting in a fight with a lady and leaving without a passport because of like several things on my paperwork that and she was like 45 minutes late, so she was really rushed and I had anyway. The point is when I left, like it took me like about 2 minutes to get back to Enlightenment. It was like, and then there was an episode where I went to get my passport and I got in a fight with the lady and I left without one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like the example that he gives in the book of like, so you're in the movie theater and then you come out and you're walking to your car and then you see it's been hit by a truck and you're like, oh no, my car's been hit by a truck. I should have parked it further down the road. And the stupid truck driver, why'd they crash into it? Oh no, it's like my brand new car. And then you realize like, oh wait, that's not my car. It's the same make and model, but my car is parked like two spaces down. And you're like, oh, okay. Like when you were zoomed in, it was like they're like, what if my insurance isn't gonna cover it? And like you're having all these problems. And then like 2 minutes later, you're like laughing at the fact that you thought that was your car.
Yeah, yeah. Here, I'm gonna let you guys zoom in on my dye shirt. How's that make you feel when you're zoomed in versus zoomed out?
Oh, it feels real zoomed in. You know, because the other thing you're zooming in is on your cross angel wings.
Oh
So,
yeah, isn't that an oxymoron? Like, well, I guess die and get your angel wings, I guess is what it says. But um, yeah, like if you're zoomed in, you'd be like, what does she mean? Does she want me to die? Like, am I supposed to die? Is she saying I should die? Is she talking about death? What does that even mean? And if you're zoomed out, you're like, and then on the episode, there was a word die on the screen. So what is the list on page 35? Do we want to read any of those? What is it?
Uh, let's see. I'm getting to page 35 myself. Oh, the zoomed in, I am controlling life, that business?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Do you want, I guess I could read them since I have them now here. Zoomed in is I am controlling life, where zoomed out is life is controlling me. Because their point is that you don't have free will, so you are not controlling life. You are being controlled by your innateness of something. What do you guys think about that one?
Well, I think in recovery, which I'm in, although I would say I'm pretty well recovered, I've been sober for like almost 2 years. But the thing is, of course, you never recover from such a thing. The thing is they say that you're supposed to give your will over to God's will. And that's
Hmm.
a big part of recovery. And I think it's the teaching people to zoom out. Like stop taking everything so personally. Stop like being like, I didn't get my passport, now I need a drink. You know what I mean? It's like zoom out and be like, so it's like what is God's will for you getting your passport? What is God's will? And so like they constantly trip you up to God's will, which is this zoom out process.
Hmm.
And I think it really helps. I really do. I think looking at God's will for my life instead of my own will for a year and a half literally saved and healed me like from just so much. What do you think, Claudia?
No, I'm really with you. I'm still not having um, the completely releasing the self-control. So maybe enlightenment is not for me in this life. But it's really, really important to see that um, there are forces stronger than you, and that you are wasting the moment by bitching about things from before. I don't know, like it's from a long time ago, or things that are past and done, and it you should enjoy today without the pain of yesterday, and that would be great. And then also not to have fear and anxiety about tomorrow, because we don't know, and uh, we can't do much about tomorrow. So yeah, I think it is let go, let God. Yeah, yeah, that I really like this one. Let go, let God. But I'm still not completely letting go.
Well, so I actually have arrived at a center place where I give my will to God, but then I take back the will and be like, oh, God wants me to be an astrologer. I'm going to take my will and like apply it to being an astrologer. Like, and I think this comes up later in the book where it's like I'm like literally walking like this, like it's like with my hand on both. I think later it's like put your hand on one hand on the wheel, where it's like like you're enlightened and you're also driving. It's kind of like the place you're trying to get to. Because
Yeah,
if you just constantly give your will over and like I have no will, everything is fated, then it's just so fatalist that it's just boring, you know?
yeah, and
Like I'm not even riding the roller coaster.
I like to work with affirmation. And if you have no power on your life, then why trying to work with affirmations? Why saying every day I'm safe and secure if you can't change nothing about the feeling to be safe and secure? I don't know. I don't know. No, I really think we need both. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think, well, I think you've touched on a couple of the ones and in the rest of the list too, right? So the need for control when you're zoomed in and the letting go when you're zoomed out. And you were saying those words exactly, right? So letting go and let go, let God, and like, or however it is that we phrase the zoomed outness of like not trying to mm, micromanage our own life. But and the other ones were like fear of the future versus the now, and frustration about the past versus the now. And I think it gets to that though. And I think this does work with what you're saying about affirmations because you can you can only affect the now. You can't affect the future and you can't affect the past because the past is already come and done. And the future, you don't know what's going to happen because there's like lots of different people and beings and plants and animals causing lots of things to happen in our world, right? So you only can control like right here, right now, where you are right then. And maybe saying an affirmation right here in the right here and right now does slightly change what would have been the future. So
I
maybe the
think so.
now point is the point of free will, and everything that's not now has no free will.
And it points you to another direction, to a higher frequency. I really think so. And that's why I think you really can choose for happiness and can choose for a higher frequency and can change um, change the direction. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe people who believe in the kind of like multiverse theory of like there are like all this infinite number of parallel universes that are like with every combination of what could have happened, right? So like, but now and with intention is the way that you jump to a different parallel universe.
And I will give a little example because I was so happy I wasn't freaking out. On Instagram, I saw a guy, he was saying on the 23rd of April, the world will change completely and everything will stop and it will gonna be awful. And I thought, oh, oh, oh. And then I looked to the comments and that was interesting. And there was many people who said, well, I will come back to you on the 24th. But there was somebody who said, no, no, we changed the frequency. The frequency are now higher. So we are now, this will not happen anymore. It was the path we were going to, but we did change the direction. We did rises the frequency. Not stop worrying. It's past and done. It won't happen. And I was so happy to read that, and I was so happy to believe in that and not going freakish crazy. And yeah, we are now the 24th, and yeah, I think the world is in the same shitty thingy. So nothing really happened. But so yeah, I really think we can change the frequency and yeah, save the world.
So, this is kind of changing the subject a little bit, but I do want to speak to this zoomed out thing. So how we talked about the critique of enlightened people is that they're too detached and they kind of are like too zen in a way. Well, I actually would say that I've gotten to the point, I was joking with Jay-Z, Claudia, I was like, we're making a movie. I was like enlightenment for content creators, not content consumers. Is like, we're making a movie, not we're in a movie. You know what I mean? Because like for example, right now we're making a movie, and so it's like that. Like, but we're enlightened. We're just making a movie. Like what? Like Andy acts out in this episode, and like whatever. Like, but anyway, I in the zoomed out approach, as a producer, you do zoom out because like when actors act out or we watch their transits, we watch the chart, we're like, oh, so and so's acting out right now. Okay, let's get an episode of that, or let's get that on TV. And we've had a lot of fights on Facebook on our channel, and like, and people are so surprised that we let the fights happen, and we're like, well, that's the episode that your chart's doing right now is like a fight. Like, why would we censor your episode that you're having, right? So it's kind of fun to live a zoomed out like producer's mindset of things and then choose to zoom in and care like about the fight. Like, because you can be like too detached and just be like, oh, well, there was a fight. Okay. Like, well, but like I like to be affected by the fight just like as a part of like just being an actor kind of and like, oh my God. And then Regina yelled at me about drinking 7 Up and I just like can't even believe it. Like, but like I'm choosing to zoom in, if that makes sense. Just to participate in life and not be like this, like, oh, I'm like, I don't know, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I like my
And
friends who I have like consent to engage with. Like I feel like Jay-Z and I have that a little bit. Like we're kind of looking at everything as just like an episode because we know the transits, but we're also like choosing to be affected. And like I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of that?
it's nice. It's nice. And also it's kind of the intensity of life. Like if you like the drama, and if you choose for a while to feel the drama and then zoom out again whenever. But yeah, I can imagine it's a normal life. It's also like, and yeah, addiction. I mean, maybe, yeah. But I understand. I completely feel you, and yeah, of course. And yeah,
Yeah, you can put
me,
on
I'm
your
not
like you can put on your bifocals and be like, I'm zooming in, I'm zooming out, I'm zooming in, I'm zooming out.
yeah.
Like the producer in me thinks that's a very good episode, and like the human in me is totally affected by this episode. It can be a both, you know.
Yeah, funny, funny. Me, it's more I I have to um, I have to take myself out of the drama because I have the tendency to suck up the drama and feel all the feelings, and then after a few hours, I think, oh wait, I don't have to sit there. I can take steps and let that there and take steps away from it. And yeah, I have to remember myself to zoom out. Yeah.
Well, I want to bring back to something like the sandcastles of enlightenment, we should call them, where if you move chi, like you don't necessarily have a lot of that mental drama, you move into a Zen state. And people wonder why I make so much stuff. And I think it's because I'm dealing with so many dramas that it's like the indigenous tribes say like the beads are the medicine. So it's like I'll be dealing with a lot of dramas at once and then I just like make beads and I move chi so I don't really get into it in my mind. It's like I all I notice is this thing that's creating itself in front of my face it almost takes me out of it into that kind of Zen state. And I think it's just interesting to look at, you know.
Yeah, being creative is really a good escape, a good um, a good way to zoom out. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so anything else on that list?
The last one was in zoomed in, there is contraction, and in zoomed out, there is inner peace. What do you guys have to say about that one?
Yeah, I do think when I look at things from an analytical perspective, and I keep using the producer's mind because we're making a movie, right? Is like in the producer's mind, there is peace. Like no matter how, like if one of the wrestlers, if you're the producer of WWF wrestling and one of the wrestlers tore his pec muscle and it's just like all bleeding, and then he decided to go in the ring anyway, and the producer's like, oh, in this episode, like the producer's mind is truly peaceful. Like you're just as long as the crowd is happy. Like I don't know. Like I like being analytical about human emotions, but maybe that's autism. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Funny.
Okay, so the next point is seeking fulfillment. Um, they were saying that happiness for most people depends on stimulus. So people are like, I need to buy these shoes and I need to do this and I need to go shopping and I need to talk to so and so. And I like they're looking at people are seeking fulfillment outside of them. And there's a list on page 36. I don't know if Jay-Z you want to look at that list, but what do you guys think of seeking fulfillment outside of ourselves?
Well, it it's so natural. When you work, you wait for the weekend and you wait for your vacation and you wait for your retirement, and it's so natural. And yeah, it's such a pity. Life go by and you lose all those. You lose all this time where you are uh, alive, healthy, you could be happy, but no, you wait for when you're 65 and when or 67 or whenever retirement, when you are cranky and everything is painful in your body. But okay, it's such a waste, such a waste. And people are always seeing the grass greener at the neighbors, and they want what the other have, and yeah, such a pity, such a time losing. How do you say that? You will lose
Oh,
so much
such a waste
time.
of time. Yeah.
Yeah, such a waste of time. Oh, yeah,
Daisy,
yeah.
what do you think about that?
Wait, I gotta show you something that
Don't you dare move in the camera!
The temple, the
don't
Robot,
tell me
you're a
what to
temple.
do.
robot!
Hey, I'm moving around. Look, I went and got this, which
Yeah,
I love this phrase, and then I wrote it down to remind myself and have in my room because that's kind of cool. The only way
yeah.
out. Then it's like I think
Mhm.
a lot of philosophies or whatever traditions will have some kind of phrase like that, like, that like if you sit by the side of the river, like all the water will pass you by. How does that one go?
Never heard that one.
Huh?
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway,
No,
but
no.
yeah, I like it. I do think I do believe it, and that's why I wrote it as a reminder to myself. The only way out is in. Like,
Mm.
What does that phrase mean to you?
oh, it means like that yeah, running around trying to find fulfillment in other places is unnecessary. You can actually be happy and satisfied if you can control your own mind and emotions and breathing.
Well, thank you, Jay-Z. That was what I was needing to hear today.
Oh.
No, it was also my conclusion because, yeah, today a big dream fall down, and I was thinking, why do I need that dream to be happy? And then I'm working on the inside job now.
Oh my God, I hate pieces of plans, man. Like I'm gonna start charging people when they make me tear down dream pictures and build new ones. Oh God, that's painful. Claudia, you should charge whoever broke your dream. Charge them $5 at least for your emotional labor. All right.
uh,
Well, what is that list on page 36?
yeah, so people thinking they will be more happy if something change in their life, but it's not life that has to change, it's they have to change.
Oh, I see. What I read before wasn't from the page that you said.
No, you were on a completely
Sorry.
other page, far 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 away, but this one is good too.
Now you're in trouble. In this episode, you got in trouble for doing the wrong thing.
But
I
yeah.
thought it was just another edition. We had different numbering for our pages. I was completely the wrong page.
We have the same document, Daisy. Okay, but no, but this is just, yeah. If I meditate, if I have the right partner, if I stop smoking, if I finish my exam, if I lose 10 pounds, if I get in holiday, blah blah blah. If if then I will be happy. But no, you have to be happy even if
I'm going to show
it's
you
not
guys a
happening.
laughing Buddha.
Thank you.
I'm as happy as I could be with this 181 pounds. I don't know.
Mm.
No, you have to be happy because then, like, it's where we re-baseline, and then whatever it is, we're always dissatisfied and reaching for more. But that's part of what we do. We like reach for the next thing because that's part of our nature
Could you
is
be
to,
satisfied in reaching for more?
that's the trick, is to be satisfied and reach for more.
Wow. God gets so much satisfaction. I can't change that song around. Can't get no.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
All right. Well, anxiety is a thing, you guys. It's our next topic here. Well, anyway, we should make sure we really get this concept and drive it home, which is that I mean, you may have all these sandcastle things around you and like, but you should be okay without your sand. I mean, if you can build sandcastles of internal sandcastles
In your mind?
in your heart. Let's write a song called Inner Sandcastle.
Oh, I
I'm
can build.
cracking Jay-Z up today. This is funny.
Yeah, you can build sandcastles with anything, I guess, or nothing at all.
You know what yogis do?
What do
They
they
make
do?
sandcastles out of breath.
Yes. Yeah.
Prana.
Yeah, they make prana castles.
We can live
They
on
feed
prana.
themselves on prana. They don't have to eat food. They can make prana castles and then kick them over.
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
get a breatharian on the show. They believe you can live solely on breath. Yeah. Well,
yeah, yeah. We had that conversation, Jay-Z. Hmm?
Yeah, we were talking about this last week, Andy.
Mm.
what?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I wasn't really buying it.
Yeah, I just think breatharians are boring.
I
No
think they're
offense.
lying.
I'm just like, you didn't send me an Easter card, and that's what I don't like about breatharians.
Mm.
They don't need to go to the dollar store and get Easter cards.
And I think it's unnecessary. And I think they're gonna just like wind up in the hospital and need other people. And like, I don't know. It just seems kind of dumb to me, but that's me.
Whoa. In this episode, Jay-Z was slightly mean to someone. Rare for a yogi. And if this rare for an enlightened yogi. All right, let's talk about anxiety. You guys are giving me some anxiety here.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anxiety. I built too many sandcastles. Okay, desire is a fear. The fear of not getting something. So let's talk about that. Desire is a fear. So can I talk about you and your love search, Jay-Z?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you desire to have a hot, sweaty boyfriend. And just Claudia, my chart's gonna be like this for like 10 more days. So just put on your seatbelt. Okay. March. Okay. So Jay-Z wants a hot, sweaty man. And I want to know if your desire for one is creating a fear within you that you might not get what you want.
Oh, I see. That's why they're saying desire causes fear. Fear, I like my favorite definition of fear is uncertainty about the future.
That's one kind of fear. It's worrying fear. There's also functional fear. There's two kinds of fear. According to
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah, no, that's true. There's the fear because of our survival instinct. So uh we are fearful that something is going to come flying at us and injure our meat suit, and then we won't be alive anymore. And because like for me, I like work from home on a computer, that's probably not going to happen. Some tiger come leaping at me and claw me to death. But instead, because our bodies are hardwired to have these systems, we still feel that fear, and it's caused by other things, by like people not accepting us. And then it's like, then we won't be in a tribe that will help us be able to fend off the tiger. It's like it's too removed from the actual fears of our current modern day life. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent.
No way. So, Claudia, do you think desire creates a fear within you? Like you had a dream that got crushed today, and was did that desire for the dream, were you afraid it wouldn't happen?
Now, I think the fear of, for example, growing old and being dependent or whatever, that's a fear. And then you make plans and dreams and you think of possibilities to avoid that situation. So yeah, so for me the fear is before, yeah. Yeah, so out of fear you can make your dreams or have wishes or making plans, and that's right. It's because we think we can control the future. So if we have dreams and plans and wishes, it's because we hope we can change something about our life. But he says that's not possible. So just stop fearing and just stop wishing and everything because you have no control. So just stop. Ah.
Well, I took this one. Someone came over to my house who was a Buddhist, and she was talking about the idea of clinging to things. Like in Buddhism, you're not supposed to cling to anything because it creates like this suffocating feeling of like fear, basically. And so it's interesting in manifestation, we actually have dreams, like that's part of it. And then you do get kind of afraid that your manifestation is not going to come true. Like I do think goal setting and dreaming and choosing to go higher can create a paucity principle in you. Like now, if that thing doesn't happen, there's something lacking, or like with numbers at the Moira Press, like we'll make videos, and then if we start getting into like how many people watch a video and what are the numbers, you get this fear. You get your where you're just like, well, maybe no one likes the show, and like, kind of thing. And we've actually had to train ourselves, like God is in charge of the numbers, like you do you, and then like let go and let God about like the outcome of like we're trying to do that goal setting without that fear of it not happening, and I think that is a trick of enlightenment. Like you want a boyfriend and you're really hoping to get one, but then it's like, oh, what if I don't get one? What if I don't meet anyone? And that does happen when we let ourselves want things. Like a few weeks ago, you were like, I was fine until I started wanting a boyfriend again, and then I just felt horrible, and I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I do think it's also I hear what you're saying, Claudia, too, of the like the thinking like, oh, well, I want to have hot, sweaty fun with a hot, sweaty boyfriend while I'm still alive. And, if a month goes by without that happening, then that's like another month of my life that, like, but you can't be like, also, I know to tell myself, like, you can't be like, oh, well, this month was horrible because that didn't happen, because this month was still fun. And like you're saying, Andy, I can't be like, oh, well, my life was horrible this whole year because that thing that I wanted didn't happen, because, other awesome things happened and it just wasn't that thing that happened at that time yet.
Yeah, I feel like it takes cojones to desire things, really, because it's like I've actually toyed around with the idea of being this Buddhist person who doesn't cling to anything and doesn't hope and wish for anything, and just be like, I w want nothing, like I'm fine just with not even breath. Just an existitarian. I don't know. But the thing is the thing is, I'm like, no, I'm a crusty punk Scorpio, and I'm like, I get attached to everything. Like, I make lists and lists of things I'm obsessed with. I'm like, no, I'm attached to the Enlightenment videos, and if we don't finish the Enlightenment book, I'm just gonna freak out. I'm just gonna freak out. I actually prefer that lifestyle than the detached, I don't care lifestyle. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say it also works out better in practice because in this reality, we are surrounded by other people and they have their desires and that they'll like take all the good things if you're like, and Amy Tyson would say that she'd be like, oh, I'm okay with this half a stick of gum. It's okay. You know, if you're like that, then people are going to take the rest of the pack and you're really only going to have a half a stick of gum. Like you're going to get like a half a box of crayons mostly broken.
Yeah, I would say dare to want things. Like dare to want and then just I'd rather to have wanted it and lost is better than to never have wanted it all, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he says there's two kinds of
What do
fear.
you think about this, Claudia? I don't know if you believe, like, so we're Americans. Is that a cultural thing? Are you agreeing? Are you,
No,
I
I am agreeing. I mean, I understand the point of view of the book where it's more quiet and it's less drama, but we don't want we don't want no drama. We want still to feel and to want and to move to have the idea that we are moving things around. And yeah, and sometimes a dream breaks down, but okay, then let's build a new one. So yeah, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm with you guys, even if I'm not American.
So okay, so he says there's two kinds of fear. There's functional fear and worrying fear. So the tiger in the room, he suggests, is a functional fear which helps us to survive. Like, or like I'm afraid of snakes, we could say is a functional fear because if they bite you, you might actually die of poison, you know? So he says that it's okay to have functional fear. Like I'm afraid to fall off this building, you know, or whatever, like anything that keeps us alive. But he says we're supposed to avoid worrying fear. So what is worrying fear?
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know if I'll get a boyfriend. I don't know if I'm cute enough. I don't know if I'm smart enough. I just don't know if I'll meet anybody. I don't know. No.
I don't know if I'm gonna live my whole life in Aruba. And live alone on the island. Ugh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's just so you have an image of the future and you don't like that image and you cling to that image too much. It's also really bad for your frequency. So just just erase the image and just see yourself, you know. I applied for the job on Aruba and it took the longest time for them to choose me. I don't know how, but it was a long process. And during that process, I was seeing myself walking barefoot in my own house the whole year and wearing summer dresses the whole year. Like I had no other things to wear than summer dresses. And it's actually kind of my life now. And I got the job. I was seeing myself walking barefoot in my house. And yeah, and it happened. It, it, it if you have a worrying fear, you should just change the movie and try to see something else. Yeah, yeah.
What's that called in manifestation theory? A flip switch?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah, that's what she was saying. That Lynn Grabhorn. Yeah.
Like if we're thinking about something that is negative, then we flip the switch to something we're manifesting, like, oh, be bonanza or whatever. Like you're supposed to flip switch like that.
mm,
In AA, there's something called future tripping when you just trip on the future a lot, which is you're not supposed to do because it's bad for your sobriety. I think this is similar.
mm.
Yeah, I think his like the worrying fears are fears that don't have to do with like your imminent physical safety.
Hmm. Yeah, what do they say? The only thing to fear is fear itself. Like
They
I
do.
just, oh, I just had to go get a medical procedure, and it was
Mhm.
like some like women shit or whatever, but it was like gonna hurt, you know? And I was
Mhm.
like trying to, because I know the only thing to fear is fear itself. Like the worst part of this procedure is going to be the fear leading up to it, you know, and it's going to
Oh
hurt.
yeah.
Oh, well, like pain is actually not that big of a deal. It's just like a wave of chi, basically. And so I was like, I think I did pretty good, like zooming out leading up to the procedure. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I think that's the kind of worrying fear we get into is like, I have to get a shot later today. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna hurt, it's gonna hurt. You know, it's like you're worrying and like that's taking you out of noticing the light inside because you're doing that ticker tape of like mental.
Yeah, or even worse, maybe worrying about things or worrying about other people or worrying about, it's not always what will happen to you, but it's also like, um, I've met people that take care of of the whole family, or brothers and sisters and children and husband, and they have no time to think for themselves, and they are worrying and they are hoping and keeping all the balls in in air, and yeah, oof, that's exhausting.
Yeah, I'm not a big worrier about like other people and their safety or that they're doing the right thing or whatever. I have a tendency to think like, well, I mean, they're 45 years old or they're however old they are, and it's like, and I wasn't there with them every single day leading up to it, so like, and they didn't get in a car accident the last 20 years, so they're probably not gonna get in a car accident like tomorrow, so I don't really need them to call me to let me know they're safe, kind of thing. But maybe I'm a little too detached in that way.
Well, my daughter started driving last year. She's 17 now, and I did a little bit of worrying fear about her getting in a car accident, but I flip switched on that and started manifesting the vision. My daughter drives peacefully and safely through the city. My daughter drives, because it's like I don't want to do worrying fear because it's like that's worse than the actual fender bender she's going to get into. I mean, then you have to think like how many people actually die in a car accident? It's like so few, and like so it's the worrying that kills you. It's not the car accident. I mean, most of the time the car accident is just a bunch of paperwork, which that does worry me. I freaking hate paperwork. But you know what I mean.
But yeah, it's true. It's like also like worrying that, oh, that will happen to somebody else. But like, it's like we all have like misadventures in our lives where like you say, oh, there's a fender bender. Like if you've been in a fender bender, I have like, yeah. So you pull over, you switch paperwork, like it's a pain, but like there's seldom times that like, and even if somebody like left their lights on, oh, well, then they met somebody who they had to ask a few people to give them a jump or whatever, or they learned not to do that again or whatever. Like, we're always encountering situations and then dealing with them.
No, but I was speaking about that because um, anxiety is not only about you, but you can have anxiety over so many things and so many people. It's endless. So just, yeah. It's good that you don't have that much anxiety about other people's lives and things. But for other people, it's kind of normal to just worry.
Mhm.
And yeah, I, yeah.
Well, I have something to
Yeah.
say about this. So when I have astrology clients that have anxiety, the way I see anxiety is unused chi. Because like, it's like if you have a chart that's high chi and you don't give it a sandcastle to build, your mind will just go in this cyclical racing thing. And it's like, I should do this and I should, it's like, so basically I teach them to like use their chi for stuff because it's like we get high chi charts with like very little good activities. They say that like musical instruments keep kids off drugs. And it's like if you can take your chi and like play the piano, that's gonna get rid of your anxiety. It just sitting there with chi flowing is that it's that ticker tape on acid. Like, and that's really what we get with anxiety. So I think the sandcastle treatment is what people need when they have anxiety. But
They need a hobby.
or
Yeah, or
a
like
chakra
100.
healing,
What is it?
or a chakra healing,
What's that?
a chakra healing.
Oh, chakra healing. Okay, okay.
I'm French.
That's true. That can help too. Like if they're
Yeah.
spinning out, literally, then you can balance their chakras. Yes, until they spin out on the next transit. And then you can heal their chakras again. All right. So let's do one more and then we'll stop. The crash car. So if there's a crash car, you can zoom in and zoom out. You can put your worrying mind on it or you can zoom out. So what's that look like if you saw a car crash? How would it be to zoom out?
But it was the example Jay-Z talked about already.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah. I had been jumping ahead to when you got out of the theater and saw your car had been crashed into.
interesting.
So zooming in is like being all worried about it, and zooming out is being like, well, all right, in this episode, my car got crushed by a truck.
Yeah.
Now I have to file some paperwork.
Die. Just kidding. Oh my God. All right. Well, this is a good episode. I mean, they're all good episodes. I mean, I can't say for you guys if you think so, but
Yeah, this was the episode in which we exploded with our Uranus energy.
oh my
Uranus.
God. And you just stepped out of the camera and grabbed your whiteboard. That was insane. But I didn't worry about it. I just calmly watched.
The producer in you was a bit like keep the camera on you.
I chose to zoom in for effect, for dramatic effect.
Okay.
All right, you guys, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this. I would like to give you a gratitude bath and say thank you for your presence and for showing up and trying, and I really appreciate it.
Thank
Oh,
you so much for the occasion, Andrea. It's really nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
thank you for coming prepared with your list of questions, Andy, and for leading
Yeah.
the discussion.
Thank you for
Good work.
thanking.
Good work.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
bye.